Welcome to the pod. My name's Jonah, and today we have a special guest, my friend Erin Bergeron-Savard. I'm definitely
Good.
mispronouncing that last name. It's a lot more French than that, but that's
I
okay.
love
I
it.
don't call her by her full name. I just call her by her first name anyways. So, but for the purposes of me doing a podcast, I have to fully introduce my guest. So there's Erin, and yeah, you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Erin. I'm 27 and I live in Toronto.
Perfect.
That's all you
Erin and I
need.
met during COVID 4 years ago, when the world was on lockdown and she was traveling to Alberta, mid COVID, mid pandemic. Um, and we met each other despite the quarantine, along with a group of other friends, of which we immediately took a liking to one another. I think because we were the only gays in a large group, so we gravitated to each other that way. We had a connection that way. And then the other connection that we have is we're both very goal oriented individuals, planners, very regimented and strategic in our ambitions. And yeah, that's what we're going to be talking about today, kind of our goals for the year ahead and to what role does goal identification and the pursuit of said goals influence our day to day living. So, I guess just to kick it off, maybe you could let me know what some of your goals that you've identified for 2025.
So, some of my goals, let's see. Um, One of my major goals for this year is to save up for my upcoming wedding. Me and my fiance are getting married next summer. So not this
Uh-huh.
summer right here, but in 2026.
Can I come?
So pardon?
Never mind. I already know that I'm invited. I was just being stupid. I said, can I come?
Oh, of course. I need gay people at my wedding.
I'll be there. I'll represent.
So one of my main goals is to save up for that wedding. We have a overall budget of $40,000. So far we have saved, last year we saved 18,000 and we are currently sitting at around the 24 mark. So our goal for this year is to save up around 25K, which
Wait,
is a lot.
you saved up 18,000 last year and now you're at 24,000. So between January 1st and now, which is February 19th, you've saved $6,000.
I gotta be real with you right now. I started saving before Max proposed to me because
Uh,
it was so important to me that I had a big wedding. Because I just really want all of my family to go, especially my grandparents. So instead of doing the typical eloping or courthouse wedding, we decided on doing it's not I'm it's not a big wedding. We're inviting like 100 to 120 people. So I guess like a medium sized one. And if you are getting married soon, you know that weddings are hella expensive. So our budget is 40,000, like I said. And this year we are working our asses off to save up around $500 each a month to save up for the wedding. And hopefully we can save a lot more than that because, like I said, our goal is 25. And if we only save 500 each, that's only 12. So we're just hoping for the best.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Any others for the year?
We are planning on doing a couple of trips this year. Last year, we did a trip to Thailand, which was our first time in Asia, and we did a 2 week trip there. And because Max is a teacher, she is no longer off all the time like when
Mm.
she was a student. So we can only like do a couple trips a year because of that. So we're planning a trip to South America this year. We're hoping either Costa Rica, Guatemala, or there's another one that I can't think of right now. like Mexico and Tulum. So those are our three options.
Nice.
And then hopefully one more trip after, just because we're both like avid travelers and we just love traveling and love culture and stuff. So we
Yeah.
really, really want to make it one of our priorities. But it's also hard because we're saving up for the wedding, which means that we have no extra money to
That's
plan
what I
for
was gonna
trips.
say. I was gonna say that's kind of at odds with your saving every penny goal.
Yeah,
But the good thing for you is that you have standby travel privileges because you work with Air Canada. So at least you can make it quite cheap.
yeah, that's the biggest perk of being a flight attendant, the cheap travel. You gotta take advantage of it when you can, right?
Or the partner of a flight attendant, as I've
Hmm.
also experienced.
Yay, flight attendant
Japan
club.
2024. It's pretty epic. Okay, so those are awesome goals. I'm wondering if when you're identifying goals, if you're only identifying like project goals, like you hit your goal and then it's done, or if you also have goals under the vein of kind of more habit formation or certain intentions or ideals that you're striving for that don't necessarily have an end post. Do you think about that when you're making resolutions as well, or no?
Honestly, Max, who's my fiance, is the one who got me into this goal thing. And this year we did our goals very intentionally. So we have both project and habit goals that we have in one of our programs called Notion. I'm saying our program, it's not our program, but it's a program.
Software.
Um, yeah, software. And so I do have both. So just an example of each would be for next month, or sorry, for this month in February, I have a goal of purchasing a water flosser, which is one of my overall goals for better health. I am very peculiar about my teeth and I floss all the time. And I hear a water flosser is even better than regular floss.
I
So
got
it's
one
my
last
goal.
year.
Is it good?
Yeah, I use it in the shower. I don't know if that's a weird thing to do, but I use it in the shower.
Oh my God. Okay. I got to try that.
It's pretty powerful. It's pretty strong, actually.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Just because I am so cavity prone, so I really wanted to invest in something for my
Hmm.
teeth.
Nice.
So that's obviously a project goal. So I just buy it, I check it off.
Yeah.
I also have other types of goals where it's habitual, like you mentioned. Um, an example of this would be keeping in touch with my family members. So I'll have in my goals like every week to example call one of my grandparents, and then I'll tick it off. Um,
Aw.
yeah. So those
Do
are
they
just
know that that's your goal? No.
no, they don't. I'm trying to
Aw.
be more family oriented, especially like my grandma. She's very family oriented. Like she talks to family members every single day. Like she still plays cards with her sisters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And obviously, it's hard living in Toronto because obviously I don't see them every day. So I just have to use the resources that I have and, pick up a call, text them, do FaceTime. uh, I even started writing letters to my grandparents, which
Ooh.
sounds really cheesy.
No, that's so much more personal. Well,
Yeah.
actually, is it more personal? You lose a lot of tone, and frame of speech. Not using the right terminology, but it's so much more impactful. That's the correct word. If someone's written you a handwritten letter, like I feel like that's meaningful. Very few people do
Yeah.
that nowadays. It's a dying art.
And also, it's just more expensive. Like, you have to buy the
Yeah,
stamp and the letters and stuff, right?
yeah.
So, but it's one of my goals in life, not just yearly or monthly. It's one of my goals in life to just always keep in touch with my family. It's just been always so important to me to do that because I have an irrational fear of them dying. And I know it's
That's not
inevitable.
irrational.
Everyone dies. Like, I
Yeah.
know this, but I'm just so scared. That's why I want a big wedding and I want all of them to come because I just can't imagine them not being there. I don't know if you saw my Instagram story a couple days ago. My grandpa, he's really, really good at like the acoustic guitar. and I was in Timmins, which is my hometown, for the last 5 days. I just got back today, and I think it was yesterday or the day before. He just grabs one of his guitars and he's like, he's talking to me in French. He's like, Erin, I'm gonna play this song at your wedding, and it's just a song about like love and being in love and stuff like that. And I had to
Uh,
record him because it was so sweet. Like he
no, I didn't
just
see that. No, I'm sad I missed it.
he's like that's like his love language is like music and like
Will
playing
you send me
music
the
for
video
people.
after?
Yeah, I will. Yeah, you
Okay.
can pop it in here in between.
Yeah, I'll give your grandpa a plug in the show
Yeah,
notes.
yeah. Yeah. I don't remember what your initial question was, but yeah.
I think I was asking about the difference between goals and intentions, like habits.
Mm.
But I'll just add in, I think it's really admirable that so many of your goals and intentions are framed around relationship building, because that's such an important aspect of life when it comes to a person's quality of life and level of happiness. And I think more people should adopt kind of the social aspect of goals. Like, not every goal has to be um, get X amount of dollars or um, get a ripped body or whatever. Like, I think it's perfectly reasonable to go outside those bounds and look at other dimensions of life. So,
Hmm. I
yeah.
totally agree. And I feel like one thing that me and Max did this year was to categorize all of our goals. So we have like health, mental health, relationships, friends, stuff like that. Just because when I started doing just my New Year's resolutions, I find that most of my goals were like adventure based, like go
Mhm.
scuba diving, swim with turtles, go to 3 different countries. And I didn't add anything else. It was just adventure based. So adding all of these extra categories for goals really makes it more interesting,
Yeah.
and it makes it just like funner to check it off, right? Like, oh, I checked something off in the relationship. Oh, I checked something off in the mental health. So,
And more holistic too, because when you look at a person's life, like, it doesn't just consist of adventure only. Um, I mean, you could do that, but then you're probably suffering in other ways. But if you take a holistic kind of lens on it and you look at those categories, then it leads to more balance and more diversity. So yeah, I think that's awesome. I'm curious what your mental health goal is.
well,
That's like spirituality, right? Like, you have like a spirit goal. Is that correct?
it's mostly, no, I would say it's more mental health, like go to therapy.
Oh, okay.
So
No, that's
one of my goals
awesome.
this year is to go to therapy.
I think that's awesome.
Um,
I'll disclose I go to therapy regularly. I talk to a counselor. I take a phone call. It's not a face-to-face thing.
mm,
I think he's based in like Lethbridge or something like that. But yeah, like, it's covered through my work insurance. So I'm kind of like, I go and get my car checked. Like, I spend time in the gym. My mind is as important as my body is. Why would I
mm,
not be like running these diagnostics and getting it checked, you know? So for me, it's just kind of like a check-in. Um, I do it once every 6 weeks, around that, once every 2 months, maybe. Not super frequently, but yeah, once every 6 weeks. And I take a phone call and I go walk outside. So like, I'm getting good mind productivity while I'm getting really good advice, clinical advice, while getting the benefit of like walking and being outdoors. So I think that's
mm.
a great goal.
Thank you. I feel like one of
Intention.
the reasons, yeah, one of the reasons why I put it on my list is because I have benefits with work, but it only covers like for counseling, it only covers $50 a session, which means that I would basically have to pay like around $100 out of pocket.
Yeah.
Um, so it's not something I'm inclined to do because I have to pay out of pocket. Like I have to take money from my savings account to pay for this. And like you said, it's so important. So that's why I'm trying to put my foot in the door and maybe look for a therapist and then start therapy and invest in myself.
Well, you're even better than me because I'm not paid. Like, my work comps 100% of it. We have some type of EAP program. I'm surprised that Air Canada doesn't have that because Air Canada is a huge employer. Um, but is there a way for you to get that, like, and just have the company comp it all? Like, you should maybe ask your supervisor if they have an employee assistance program. I don't think you should have to be paying for that. Because to me, that's something that insurance would cover. But I guess it depends on the employer.
Yeah, I mean, our benefits just kind of suck. Maybe don't put it on in the podcast.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, no, that's a really good goal. And it's in line with your kind of objective of categorizing the different aspects of life and aspects of wellness and just working on yourself holistically. So that's awesome. I'd like to ask you about your kind of strategic approach to achieving your goals, and how intentional you are in identifying your goals and the pursuit of said goals. So the question is, how structured and intentional are you in your goal setting? I.e., do you journal? Do you have incremental reviews? Do you involve others for accountability, like Max or friends or whatever? And do you form like a strategy plan? Like, how intensive is that process, essentially?
Yeah, me and Max both use Notion, which I feel like it's such a good tool because we can also go on the computer and do it or go on our phone and do it. And it's something that you don't need Wi-Fi as well. So
So this whole thing is a plug for Notion.
yeah, get
Okay.
Notion, man, get Notion.
Is it, do you have to
um,
pay for it?
no, it's free.
Okay.
We do everything on Notion. We have like our whole wedding planner on there. I like
Hmm.
log all my books that I read on there. It's just such a good tool.
Okay.
But yeah, that's how I do all my goals. I kind of have my general like list, and then I have a calendar. So like January, February, March, April. And then in each month, I'll have like a couple of the goals from the top into each month. That way I can like track to see if I'm actually staying in tune with like um, accomplishing all of my goals for the year,
Hmm.
or if I'm slacking. And I gotta be real with you, I did not do my January goal. I did not. My goal was to do a workout class, specifically kickboxing, and it's something so easy that I could have done, but I did not prioritize it. I did not do it.
You can
But it's
recover
okay.
from that.
I can.
And you don't
So
have to
that's
go
the
to a class. You don't have to spend $20 and attend a class. You could use YouTube.
I could.
You could
Yeah,
modify it.
I could definitely. But the beauty of it is that I can just grab it, drag it, and put it into another month. And
Nice.
yeah, and I feel like it's good because some months we're just not into it, whether it's mental health or busy with work or just a lot of social plans.
Okay.
Um, for me, it was just, I didn't want to do it. I just did not want to do it last month.
I
But
have a
yeah,
question for you, actually.
yeah,
How many different goals and or intentions, like habit intentions, have you identified? How many goals do you have for 2025?
I knew you were going to ask me this because I pulled it up. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I have
That's a
14.
that's a lot.
It is it is a lot. So a couple of years ago, I would usually only have 10, and I feel like it wasn't enough. The last year, I think 2024, I had around 20, and I only did like 12 of them. So I thought it was way too much. Because it's a lot of pressure too. Like you want to like live up to your
Yeah.
potential, you know? And if
Yeah.
you don't do it, you kind of get sad or mad at yourself for not doing it.
Also,
So
it's
I thought
overwhelming.
it is. It really is.
Like, I do think
Um,
there's a sweet spot.
yeah. And I feel like one of the tricks is to have goals that are very, very easy to accomplish and maybe like two or three hard ones.
Hmm.
So one of them is write half of a book. I've literally had write a book for the last 5 years
Hmm.
on for my goals, and I have not accomplished it. So this year I put write half of a book.
Nice.
So hopefully, yeah, yeah. And then an easy one is like get the water flosser. Like it's just something I have to invest $100
Get the
in.
what? Sorry.
Get a water flosser.
Oh yeah, the water flosser. Yeah, yeah.
So I feel like it's something easy, right? Like I just have to like dish out $100 and then okay, I get to check it off.
Yeah. Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess in that vein, what do you think is the appropriate number? And also, my other question on that, when it comes to the volume of goals, is do you do you flag or categorize or label each of your goals in Notion or whatever platform you're using as part of your strategy? Like, are you like in terms of significance, this is like a 10. In terms of difficulty, this is like a 10. Like, do you have those type of scorings or do you just list them?
I honestly just list them. I think when it comes to writing the list, I'm intentional with what I think is doable. So me and Max will just sit down on the couch and I'll be like, okay, I need around three more goals. What can I add to this that seems like is something I could actually do? So I think I would say around one goal a month is a pretty good goal.
Yeah.
Um, for like the habit goals, I feel like you just have to pick things that are really important to you and obviously trying to accomplish it every day or every week or every month
Hmm.
um, and kind of write it in a separate category.
Hmm.
I don't have those written. I just kind of store them in my head with what I just want to do, um,
Okay.
like what habits I want to accomplish every week
Yeah.
for my habits. So one of them is like we're doing 75 soft right now. And
Nice.
yeah, so some things that we're trying to incorporate into our habits is I'm drinking one Stanley of water a day, which does not seem like a lot, but
How many
I
liters is that?
about 1 liter,
Okay. I
like
think they
one
say,
and a bit.
I can't remember what the right amount is. I
I
don't
think it's
remember.
around like 2 liters. But the
Yeah.
thing is that I gave myself a school because I never used to drink water. So this might not seem like a lot. I even told my dad, he's like, that's just 2 bottles of water. And I'm like, yeah, but I used to drink 0 bottles of water. So this is actually huge for me.
Were you
Um,
drinking
I,
something else before?
honestly, I would drink maybe 1 glass of water, like a little glass, and maybe 1 glass of juice. Like I was
Hmm.
not a big drinker, like at all.
Okay.
Yeah. And then other goals for 75 soft was read 10 pages a day, um, do a 45-minute workout every day. And then
That's
hopefully
hard.
by the, yeah. And then by the end of 75 soft, hopefully we just incorporate those habits and then we just use them every day, right? Like that's the whole point of the challenge.
Yeah.
Um,
That's
so yeah, that's
awesome.
why, yeah, thank you.
Okay. I have a question about the volume of goals that you have. I mean, I think I'll just touch on your answer. I think that one a month sounds great. I think that that's possible. It's realistic. Maybe one project-based goal where there's a clear end post and one intention a month. That sounds perfectly reasonable to me. I
Hmm.
think one of my challenges is I set so many priorities for myself and so many goals that I get easily overwhelmed. And then like I'm not achieving all of them because I have so many. I'm making maybe making progress on a lot of them, but I'm not achieving all of them. And so then what happens to me is I feel guilty and I feel like a failure and the negative self-talk starts creeping in. So I
Yeah.
need to take that advice and cut down and focus on restoration. But I guess in that vein, my question is, how much pressure do you put on yourself for this? Like how significant is goal setting in your life?
I would say I'm kind of in the middle for this one. I don't let it consume my life. Um, I don't know. What was the first part of your question again? Sorry.
I don't remember how much pressure you put on yourself.
Um, um,
Like
definitely,
do you let it overwhelm you?
I don't. Honestly, I'm kind of new to this whole habit thing, habit tracker, stuff like that, goal tracker. Um, So I just told you, I did not do my kickboxing class last month, but I feel like because the year is so long and I have opportunity to redeem myself,
Yeah.
that's why I kind of don't stress about it. If we were in November, December, and I still had four goals to do, I feel like I would definitely put more pressure on myself
Mm.
to accomplish those goals just for like my sanity and my just to say that I crossed it off. You know, it's
Yeah.
so brings you so much joy just to check it off.
But these
But
goals aren't keeping you up at night, stressed in bed.
did not know.
We're unlike in that way. It dominates so much of my mental space.
I feel like it depends how important the goals are to you
Yeah.
because when you said keeping up at night, the one goal that reminded me of that was the money for the wedding. Because I'm
Yeah,
like, oh
that's
my God, if
huge.
I don't have enough wedding money for the wedding, like I can't get married. You know, like thoughts like that will come in my mind. So I guess it just depends how important the goals actually are. Because my goals are kind of like mid, like get a water flosser. One of my goals is get a puppy. Like
Yeah.
if it doesn't happen, I feel like I'm okay with it, that I won't like be mad at myself, you know?
Yeah. That's awesome. Okay. There's someone at my door right now.
Okay.
So I have to go. I meant to put something in the mailbox and I didn't put it in the mailbox. So I'm gonna go put it in the mailbox and then I'm gonna come and then I'm gonna, yeah, we'll recover. We'll get through the rest of these questions on the new one.
Okay.
Oh my
Sounds
God,
good.
there's so many.
I know. Literally, when you gave me all those questions, I was like, I feel like he's expecting like a 3 hour
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah, there's so many. There's like 40 questions. This is exactly how my goals are too. Like I have so many and there's all these different parts and then I subdivide every single goal. And that's why I'm like, I'm overwhelmed. Like I get acute stress from it, to be honest. Like it's not chronic, but it's like acute stress because it's so many things. Like now I'm working three jobs and volunteering.
Jeez.
It's too much. And this project, like this podcast project, it's like one out of like 10 goals that I have. And this is like a huge project, you know?
It is,
So
yeah.
I really need to
I
work
mean,
on balance. And today we're talking about goal setting, intentionality, and yeah, just how much of our mental space different goals dominate and how intentional we are in our ambitions. So moving right along, I guess I guess just as a flat question, how much of your mental space would you say goals actually dominate? Like if you could put your mind into a pie chart and say, these are all the different things that I'm thinking about throughout the day, what percentage of that would be focused on your goals and your priorities? Betterment.
um, I would say around 20%.
20% of your mental space is thinking about your goals and um, different intentions.
Yes, I would say this because one of my main goals, like I said, is the wedding planning and wedding saving. That's the one that always is in my head at all times.
Mhm.
The little stuff, usually I don't sweat about it. I don't even think it until I go on my Notion and I say, oh, yeah, I have to get a water flosser this month. Like, I don't think about the little ones like that.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, mostly just the big ones I think about. For the intentions, I guess that takes up a lot more space. Um, I would say maybe like 50% is my intentions, like making sure that I'm drinking my water, um, keeping in contact with family, that sort of stuff. Yeah. So I guess
that's a
that's around
lot. That's a lot of your mental focus.
yeah. I mean, this is just when like I'm sitting down and I have nothing else around me because I
Yeah,
feel like we always tend to doom scroll now or like watch TV.
yeah,
When I'm doing that stuff, I don't think about anything else because I'm so focused on whatever the movie or the TikToks I'm watching. But if I'm just sitting down like at the kitchen table, like I would say most of my thoughts are towards that.
It's so funny that you mentioned doom scrolling because literally one of my intentions this year is to do that less. Like I'm tracking my screen time and I'm trying to bring my graph down. So I keep a weekly scorecard. Like every night, I have this bulletin in my house with different intentions, and one of them is my screen time. And so I'm going to go in and I'm going to see what my averages are and just work towards reducing that.
It's so hard because it's like such a habit now. Like you just get in from work, you sit on the couch, you go on your phone, or like even just going like before bed, you sit in your bed, and then I'm
Yeah.
just like on TikTok,
I
and
think
it's actually insane.
it's more than a habit. I think it's an addiction.
Oh yeah,
And
definitely.
like we're millennials, you're maybe even like the next generation, like Gen Z or
Gen
whatever.
Z, yeah.
Um, yeah, I think, but yeah, in our generation, it's so common. Like everyone grew up on social media and smartphones, and it's designed to be addictive and it's designed to be difficult to put down. And like you get so much of a dopamine hit from it that
Mm,
that's what makes it addicting, you know? But also it has negative impacts on your mind. So,
definitely. Even just this weekend, because I was visiting my parents, I just had a lot of free time, and I had woken up at 8. And while it was, sorry, when it hit 3 p.m., I checked my phone thing too, where it tells me like how many minutes I've been on social media and stuff like that. And I was on my phone for 5.5 hours in between 8 and 3 p.m. I was so disappointed in myself. I was like, okay, like no more phone today.
yeah.
And then what do I do? The next thing I sit down is just go on my phone. I'm like so disappointed.
I don't want to tell you what my screen time averages are because I feel ashamed. 5.5 hours is like probably an ordinary day for me. Like I'm so glued to it. Um, so yeah, at least I have the intention and the structure in place to work on that. But yeah,
Mhm.
that's definitely one of mine. Um, okay, that's it. That's a lot of mental space. It's like 50% of your mental space that's going towards that. Does that
Mhm.
include, so that's thinking about your goals, but does that also include execution on those goals?
I don't think so.
So just thinking about your goals and what needs to be accomplished. Wow, that's a lot
Yeah,
of mental focus.
it is. Yeah. But like I said, it's only when I'm not doing anything else.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good. Okay, I have another mental space question, psychology question for you to answer. When you think about, so when you're forming intentions or when you're coming up with goals and you're pursuing those goals, obviously that's future focused. Like this is something that I want to change about myself to make my future better. So my question is, like, what do you think is the ideal amount of time that we should be spending thinking about the future versus actually being in the present, not thinking about anything, and maybe even thinking about things in the past, like memories and stuff like that? What do you think is the ideal percentage for each? And what do you think you're at now?
Well, I definitely know what I'm at now. I would say 0% on my past.
You're never thinking about the past ever? You're never like,
No,
oh, I made this mistake in the past working on this or this
never.
memory.
Um, I feel like a few years ago, especially maybe like while I was in Calgary and a little bit before Calgary, I was definitely always thinking about my past and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
I just think I've like grown out of it somehow. Um, because now I just worry about the future. So I would say 75% is future and 25% is in the present, just
Mm,
because maybe it's just because I'm in my 20s and this is like your character building. This is your future building, right? Like
Yeah.
I'm thinking about pension, I'm thinking about buying a house, I'm thinking about getting a dog, I'm
Hmm.
thinking about my career. Like that's just all I can think about because they teach you when you're young to like always have like a good life, like always be how do I say this? Like by 30, you should have a house, you should be married, you should do this, right? So it's a
Yeah.
lot to live up to. So that's all I can think of right now, especially pension, because everyone is talking to me about, well, when you retire, like how much money do you want to have a year? How much should you have? Are you
Yeah.
going to have a house? Are you going to sell your house? I'm just like, oh my God, like it stresses me out so much. Um, but most of my thoughts are definitely towards the future. I'm trying to think of what it should be.
While you think about that, I'll opine on your comments and speak from personal perspective also. Um, I think that that makes total sense that you're so future focused. I think it's super ambitious. I think we're alike in that way because I'm honestly like really, really similar. When you were giving those percentages, I was thinking I'm the exact same percentage. I'm probably, yeah, like 60 to 70, 75, 60 to 80% future focused. I have a litany of goals that I'm working towards, and I'm always in the short term future. I'm always like, what's my next progression? You know, what do I need to accomplish this week in pursuit of a broader goal down the line? So I'm the exact same. And I think when you're young is the time to do it because of what you just said, because you want to set yourself up for success in the future and stability. Like there's so many things that go into it.
Mhm.
But the other reason is the principle of compound interest. So, particularly with money, like if you're investing early and it compounds over time, like a small percentage every single month over time, because of compound interest, it's worth so much more as the years go on. So I can't remember what it was, but the difference between investing 10,000 at 20 versus 10,000 at 30, it's like hundreds of thousands of dollars by the time you hit 60, just because of compound interest. So it's really good to do when you're young, particularly financially. But um, even with social relationships and like working on your physical health, it pays dividends in the future. Um, so yeah, I totally agree with that, and I'm really similar. But while you're still thinking of your ideal, actually, no, I want to ask you before I tell you what I think mine should be.
Okay, I think I've made my decision. I think 50% should be present and then 25% future, 25% past. Um, it's gonna sound so cheesy, but like, you know, all those quotes, live in the present, like just be happy with how you are right now.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's so important, especially in this day and age where everything is cell phones and stuff like that. We're not living in the present. Like we are literally living other people's lives. And as much as it's nice to think about the future, we just have to enjoy what we're living in right now.
Hmm.
Because if we don't, then we're going to be 60 years old and they're going to be like, oh, what did you do when you were in your 20s and your 30s? And then we're going to be like, well, you know what? I was just anxious about right now, about this
Yeah.
part of my life.
Yeah.
And let's be real right now. What are the chances that we actually make it to 70, 80? Like anything can happen, right? Like, not to be morbid, but we can literally die tomorrow. So if I was on my deathbed right now, would I be happy with my present? Yes, I would be.
That's a
What about
really good
you?
answer. Um, I have nothing to say because, again, our answers are the same. I think what I wrote down was 75% future, or sorry, 75% present, 20% future, 5% past. So mine was even higher skewed towards the present. But in terms of the reasons, exact same reasons. Um, because life is happening in the now, you know, like we're not
Mm-hmm.
living in the future. We will be eventually. And of course, it's good to think about and make sure that we're stable and as comfortable as we can be. But like you said, it's not guaranteed. And yeah, life is happening right now in this moment while I'm talking to you over the internet, connecting with a friend. You know, I'm really not. mentally in it if I'm thinking about other things that I have going on in my calendar tomorrow or whatever. I'm losing the opportunity to connect with someone. So, yeah, I think present mindedness is crucially important. Um, so yeah, we're similar. But okay, now that we have the same, really similar answers for both of those questions, my natural next question is if we're living 60% in the future now, or 75% in the future now, but we're saying what's the ideal breakdown is 50% to 75% in the present, um, how should we rethink our approach? Like what needs to change right now?
That's a really good question.
That's hard, right? Because
It is.
like this entire podcast, I'm talking about goal setting and why it's important to have these ambitions. But then at the end, I'm just like, never mind anything that we just said, live in the moment. You know what I mean? So maybe reframed as a question, I could say, like, what's the correct balance here between working towards our goals and having ambitions and also enjoying life in the moment as it's happening?
I feel like it's inevitable to think about the past and the future. So I don't want to throw that whole aspect into the garbage. But what I'm thinking is maybe if something that would work for me would be to maybe dedicate one day a month where you think about your future. So, example, I want to get a house at, let's say, the last day of the month. I actually start to think and plan about how I can get to that goal. So, okay, it's the 31st. I'm going to go on my computer. Let's look at houses. Let's look at how much I would need to buy a house, et cetera, et cetera.
Hmm.
I feel like that's a really good way to like limit yourself because at
Yeah.
least you're still satisfying that craving of like my future, or my past, depending on which one you focus on the most.
Yeah.
Um, and then just utilizing that one day or that one weekend, like whatever you decide to do.
Yeah. So kind of like time boxing your calendar to think about those future goals and future intentions, and then the rest of the time not worrying about it as much.
Exactly.
I think that's a good answer. Yeah, I think for me, like I'm such a hypocrite answering this question because, like I said before, like I'm so future focused. And I think my problem is I was kind of telling you before, but like I get acute stress and like just a sense of feeling overwhelmed because of how much I have going on and how many objectives I have to achieve. And then when I feel like I'm not achieving them or I'm not progressing to the way that I want to be, I'm upset with myself. And like, I'm really not happy in the moment because I'm putting so much pressure on myself, you know?
Mhm.
So I think time boxing is a good tip. Some other ones that I would say is volume. So we were kind of talking about it before. I think that your suggestion was one project goal a month, one intention a month to work on, and that's it. I think that that's really good. If I'm being honest, mine's like 10. Like I have like 10 projects in 2025, including this podcast. And I have like six different habit intentions that I'm trying to work on. So I'm like killing myself trying to accomplish these goals. And then I spend so much time, like exactly like you just said, just feeling anxious, you know? So
Mhm.
for me, this is an insightful podcast session for that reason. But yeah, controlling your volume, I think would be one. And then the other thing, which I've been trying to integrate more, is CBT, so cognitive behavioral therapy, which is basically just meditation. So doing yoga in the evenings, you can combine it with
Mhm.
meditation, where you're really not meant to be thinking about anything at all. You're just lying still, maybe focusing on bodily sensations, certain muscles and stuff like that, but just training your mind that way. So like reading can help with that too. Um, and I just feel so hypocritical giving these suggestions out because I'm honestly like the poster child for like feeling anxious and like trying to achieve so much when it's like too much, like clearly too much. Like I know it's too much and I'm still doing it. Um,
Mhm.
So I feel hypocritical, but meditation's definitely really good. Yoga's really, really good. And yeah, I don't know. Those would be some of my suggestions, I guess.
Well, I feel like now for next year, you can kind of take my advice on having two really big goals. Like if
Mhm.
podcast is one of them, then because it takes so much effort and so much time, right? Like if you want to do one podcast a month, whatever. And then since you like having so many goals, just add a whole bunch of fillers. Like whatever. Doing, I know you like to run, so doing a 5K, you can do that in your sleep. You know what I mean? It's something super easy for you. So I feel like I
Yeah.
would do two big goals and then eight small goals.
Yeah. I think that's really good. I think I just need to like cut it down a little because even like on the physical side, I have so many. Like I have strength goals, which are like an abundance of strength goals. So I'll have specific movements in the gym. Like I'll have bench press and I'll be like, this is the max weight that I want to lift by the end of the year, which means by the end of the first quarter, I have to be lifting this. And that's only one movement. And then I'll go to my deadlift, a different compound movement, and I'll have the same strength goal for that, like a different amount, but it's like similar goal. And then the same for my squat, like different movements in the gym, so I'm trying to build my body up, which means that I have to have diet goals. So I'm like working really hard in the kitchen trying to accomplish my diet goals and get my macros in, get my calories in. But it's just a lot on top of a lot of other things. And that's just strength. And then there's the diet side. But then the other side is the cardio side. So like
Mm-hmm.
run a 5K, things like that. But for me, that's almost more this for the physical side, it's I have those project-based goals, like those markers, like specific deadlines, like max weight or run this distance or run this distance in this time. I have those end posts, but for me, it's almost more intentions, like habit intentions. I think that's almost a better way of going about it for the physical goals, because I think on the physical side, you want to be cultivating a healthy lifestyle. And like, what's to say if you run a 5K and then you feel really good about yourself, but then you go back to your same bad habits of sitting on the couch eating potato chips or whatever?
Yeah.
Like, I think it's better to be like, I want to get to a routine where I'm engaging in this level of fitness every single month within reason based on your other priorities in life. But yeah, I went on a tangent. I don't even remember what you asked me. Now I'm just like, man, I'm giving all this advice out to people and I have all these goals. Like I'm the biggest hypocrite in the world. But it's been a really good episode. I want to ask a couple more questions and then we'll sign off and I'll let you speak more. I'm starting to dominate too. I'll let you answer these questions. So this is a segue to kind of what we were talking about before. But the question is like, how important or how much weight should we actually put into these goals in our lives? Like, what do you think is the ideal amount of significance or amount of meaning or purpose we should actually put behind these goals? How important is it in another way?
Well, I feel like you definitely shouldn't be stressed out like this when it comes to goals. I feel like
I know.
I feel like it's completely
I
defeating
even
the
know it,
purpose.
but I can't turn it off. Like I just that's like it's part of my values to just be like an achiever, to just be going after things, to be
Right.
progressing. But you're not really progressing if you're not balanced either. Like if you're not getting your rest in and exactly what we were talking about before, living in the moment. So yeah, I agree with your feedback. I need to actually listen.
Um, I definitely feel like, sorry, I got distracted. My phone in the bathroom. Um, the weight, I feel like it depends how important the goals are to you. I think I mentioned that earlier too. When it comes to health, I think it should be like your number one priority is to accomplish like your health goals and your intentions when it comes to that, just
Hmm.
because it just helps you with like your future self, right? Like you mentioned earlier too. So I feel like I keep saying that, I'm sorry. I think that it definitely just depends on how important you think these goals are to you. Because let's be real, most people don't set up goals for themselves. And
I wish I had the stat, but I think you're right. I think very few people, they might have ideas in their mind about what they want to accomplish, but there's a really small percentage of people, I think it's like 10%, that actually write down their goals. Like they physically write it down, whether it's in Notion or Excel or whatever system you want to use. It's a really low percentage.
I think like the people who do write it after the first couple of months of the year, they just give up and they don't even think about it ever again. You know, it's just
Yeah.
something to do because it's very like in right now, just to make your New Year's resolutions. Um, but to, it's hard because I feel like it's understandable because you're living your life. Like you just sometimes you don't even think about it. You just do what you need to do, and it's just in the back burner. Um, and I think that a lot of people are just complicit with how they live their life.
Hmm.
And it's all fun and games writing goals, but then you're just in such a routine of working your Monday to Friday, or like you working three jobs, never having a day off.
Yeah.
And then you just are fine with how your life is right now. Like 90% of the people that I know, that's just their life. They're just so complicit and they don't set any goals for themselves because they're just content with how life is right now. And they
Yeah.
don't want to better themselves. They don't want to go to three new countries. They don't want to do 75 soft, you know?
Hmm. I guess it's a really difficult question to answer because it's
It
quite
is, yeah.
philosophical at its core. But like, what's even wrong with being that way? Like being complicit and not having goals. Like, I don't know from a philosophical or objective perspective, like why that's even wrong. I think it comes down to a person's values, like
Definitely.
our values are to are of personal development. Our values are to progress as people and be the best versions of ourselves that we can be. And other people might not have that value. And I think that's okay. Like I think I think it's hard to say to someone that they have to be a goal setter, they have to be an achiever or whatever. I think if it's important to you, hopefully some of the insights from this episode are of value and some of the suggestions that we gave and personal vulnerabilities on my behalf are of value. But if not, that's okay too.
I have a question for you
Okay.
because you said that you have so many goals and stuff.
Yeah.
Why is it important for you to have so many goals?
Um, that's a really good question. That's kind of a deep question too. I think I think the truthful answer is I've just always been wired that way. Like from a young age, I put there was external pressure, but it was mostly internal. I've just always had a large degree of pressure on the outcome, like the results, like I have to achieve a certain status or I have to like get this goal off. I think I don't know, I'm just like wired to always be progressing and achieving as much as I can. Um, I don't know why, but it's been ingrained in me from a kid. I will say, like, from a family perspective, I was around an extended family that is like model success stories. Like there was five of them, there's nine grandkids, three families, and the five grandkids on the one side, my aunt, she had these five kids. They were the older cousins. They were like A plus students, like valedictorian students. and all of them received full ride athletic scholarships, ended up playing professional like sports overseas, like just like model success stories. And because they were older kids, there was a degree of pressure to like meet that, you know? It wasn't spoken pressure, it wasn't communicated, but it was implied. And so I think there's good and bads to that. Like I think there's a lot of positives that come with a sense of wanting to accomplish and achieve and setting goals, but there's also detriment. Like you could be like I am now in life where like I'm I'm not living in the moment because I'm so future focused. And we just said it. Living in the moment is the most important thing, you know? So like I need to take my own advice. That's the detriment of um placing too much importance on goals. um, but yeah, to answer your question, I think it's been ingrained in me from a child, and it's just kind of a way of life for me. It's like a system of living. Like day to day, I'm just like, okay, what's my task list? How is this working towards these broader objectives? And that's my system for being. Like that's how I go about life, you know? And what's interesting is when I met you, I wasn't in that. When I met you, I was in a kind of time of life in my life where it was more in the present. I was more just like, I'm just gonna have a lot of fun this year and just like see what happens, like explore different aspects of myself and not focus on goals and achievement. And life was really good that year. And I'm not saying life is bad now. My life is filled with so much positivity and good things, but definitely my locus of control and my mental space has shifted since that time I met you. That was my
I
long-winded, not fully accurate answer, but there's my answer.
I feel like we were also this way when I was living in Calgary too, because it was COVID, and we were just seeing all over the news that people were dying because of this disease, right? So I feel
Mm,
like we were living so much more in the present because we're like, oh my God, anything can happen. Like we can get COVID. Like, not that we were scared of dying because it was mostly affecting like the elderly and just
yeah,
really sick people. But I feel like because of that aspect, we were like, oh my God, like who cares about COVID? Like, let's still hang out. Like, let's still prioritize each other. Let's go on hikes. Let's do this and that. Right.
yeah,
Um, but back on what you were saying about why you have so many goals and you were talking about like your family members, it just made me think of this quote. It's not going to be the actual quote. I'm literally just paraphrasing it, but comparison is the natural born killer. And I feel like that's how what you are experiencing right now, like you're comparing yourself to other people.
yeah,
Not that it's a bad thing because we all do it. Like I compare myself to people all the time too. But that's what made me think of when you were explaining that because you're doing these goals, maybe even if it's just 2% of why you're doing this, is because you feel like you have something to prove.
yeah,
And which is nice. Like, obviously, you want to up yourself every year and you want to show people that you're a good person, that you're healthy, that you have good habits, stuff like that. But the quote, the natural born killer, you can't let the comparison get to you, especially if it's like affecting your mental health and
mm.
your social life. And sorry,
Oh,
I'm like playing therapist right now. I don't mean
no,
to.
I appreciate that feedback. That's really good feedback. And yeah, I know I need to listen to that. If I'm being truthful, like there's definitely an aspect of external pressure from when I was younger, not
Mhm.
communicated but implied. But I think the truthful answer is it's more internal. Like I'm putting the pressure on myself. Like I'm probably
Yeah.
compensating in some way. I don't think there, especially at this age in my life, I don't think there's much external pressure on me. I don't think there's people in the shadows or people in my networks that are applying pressure on me, being like, you have to get to this status or whatever. Like it's all in my head, you know? It's all
Mhm.
internal, telling myself that like these are the things that I have to achieve, you know?
Mhm.
So yeah, I need to take my own advice and do more CBT. And I mean, we were talking about therapy earlier too. I'll be honest, like a lot of the times when I'm in those sessions, I'm actually talking about this. Like it's one of my struggles right now is finding that balance. Um, because yeah, I just have a lot of objectives, but um, I think you're right. I'll take your quote and yeah, let's touch base again and hopefully we can link up when you're in Calgary over a layover or whatever and not talk about goals. Talk about like movies or like social events or like something that's not goals, something that's more in the present and not in the future.
Yeah, let's do it, man. And I'd be down to do a second podcast with you and talk about our gayness too.
Sounds
Just so you
good.
know.
Sounds good. We can talk about yeah, pride and stuff like that for sure. But
Hmm.
yeah, thank you so much for doing the pod. It took some turns, but I think it was a really insightful conversation about goal setting and just kind of its impacts and some tips. And yeah, take it or leave it if you're listening to this episode. Hopefully there was some value. But thank you so much, Erin, for being on the pod.
And thank you so much for having me. I will come back every week with you.
Sounds good. Give my best to Maxie, and
I will.
I'll see you again.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
All right. Good night.